Stop drinking plain water late in the evening. I know that sounds unusual at first, because plain water is often seen as the safest and healthiest choice at any time of the day. Staying hydrated matters. Every expert agrees on that. But if you are over 60 and you find yourself waking up 2, 3, or even 4 times during the night, then the timing and type of your evening drink may be playing a bigger role than you think. And I understand what many people immediately think here. If I stop drinking water in the evening, I'll get thirsty and feel uncomfortable at night. That's not the idea. The goal is not to drink less overall. The goal is to drink smarter at the right time in a way that supports your sleep instead of interrupting it. Years ago, I started paying close attention to my own sleep patterns as I got older. I noticed something simple but important. Even when I followed all the basic advice about hydration, I still didn't feel fully rested, and waking up at night slowly became more frequent over time. So I began testing small changes on myself. Nothing extreme, just timing, habits, and the kind of drinks I was having in the evening. What I found was interesting. When I moved most of my daily fluids to the morning and early afternoon, and stopped drinking large amounts about 2 hours before bed, my nights improved. I woke up less often, but something was still missing. My sleep still didn't feel as deep or as restoring as it should. That's when I realized something important. The issue was not just water itself. It was what kind of drink I was using in the evening and what the body actually needs at night. Plain water is perfectly fine during the day. It supports circulation, kidney function, and overall hydration. But in the evening, it is very neutral. It doesn't help the nervous system relax. It doesn't support deeper sleep signals. And in some people, especially as we age, it can contribute to more frequent nighttime bathroom trips. This happens partly because the body changes with age. Hormones that help control fluid balance at night naturally decrease. Sleep-related hormones also become lower over time. At the same time, the bladder can become more sensitive and respond more quickly. So even small amounts of plain water late in the evening can sometimes trigger a cycle of waking up at night. That is why the focus should shift from plain water to supportive evening drinks. Drinks that contain natural compounds like magnesium, glycine, tryptophan, or plant-based calming substances that can help the body transition into rest more smoothly. You don't need large amounts. In fact, the opposite is better. Small, gentle portions are often enough when chosen correctly. Now let's go through 5 evening drinks that can replace plain water at night. We will start with the lighter options and move toward the more supportive ones. Drink number 5 is warm, unsweetened, almond-based milk. This is a simple option, but surprisingly effective for many people. Some individuals assume dairy is the only milk that supports relaxation before sleep, but almond-based milk can be a very gentle alternative, especially for those who find dairy harder to digest later in life. One of the reasons it may help is its natural content of magnesium and amino acids, similar to tryptophan. Magnesium plays a role in muscle relaxation and calming the nervous system. These compounds are involved in the natural sleep rhythm. There have been observations suggesting that people who include almond-based drinks in the evening routine may experience more stable sleep patterns and fewer nighttime interruptions. From a practical point of view, the key is simplicity. Choose an unsweetened version without additives. A small warm glass about 60 to 90 minutes before bed is usually enough. You are not trying to fill your stomach. You are simply giving your body a gentle signal that the day is ending. Drink number 4 is chamomile tea. This is one of the most widely used natural evening drinks, and for good reason. It contains plant compounds that interact with calming pathways in the brain, especially those linked with relaxation and reduced mental tension. When people describe difficulty falling asleep, it is often not physical tiredness that is missing. It is mental activity that continues running in the background. Thoughts, planning, replaying the day. Chamomile tea is often used because it may help soften that mental activity. It does not force sleep. It simply encourages a slower transition toward rest. Many people report that after a warm cup in the evening, their thoughts feel less active and their body feels more settled. The best approach is simple preparation. Steep it in hot water for several minutes, let it cool slightly, and drink it slowly about an hour before bed. It works best when it becomes part of a routine, not a one-time solution. Drink number 3 is tart fruit juice made from sour cherries. This one is less commonly used, but very interesting from a nutritional point of view. Sour cherries naturally contain compounds associated with the body's sleep timing system. One of the key hormones involved in sleep regulation is supported by these compounds. Unlike many other drinks on this list, this option is more concentrated in its effect, so smaller amounts are usually enough. Some observations have shown that people who consume this type of juice in the evening may notice improvements in sleep duration and fewer nighttime awakenings over time. It may also be helpful for individuals who experience physical discomfort in the evening because it contains natural anti-inflammatory compounds. The important detail is quality and quantity. Choose pure juice without added sugar and keep the portions small. It is not meant to be a large drink. A small glass taken about an hour or so before sleep is generally enough. One thing to be aware of is that if you are taking certain medications, especially those related to blood circulation, it is always better to check compatibility first. So far, we have looked at drinks that help relax the body, calm the mind, and support natural sleep chemistry. But there is another category that goes deeper. Drinks that don't just help you fall asleep, but may also support overnight recovery processes. We will continue with drinks number 2 and 1 in the next part, along with simple habits that help reduce nighttime waking and improve overall sleep quality. Now let's move to the drinks that go a step further. These are not only about helping you fall asleep, they are also about supporting how your body restores itself during the night, especially after 60, when recovery processes naturally become slower. Drink number 2 is a warm golden milk-style drink made with turmeric and a small amount of black pepper. This is a traditional combination that has been used in different cultures for a long time, mainly in the evening before rest. The reason it is often recommended is because of its connection to the body's stress regulation system. When stress levels remain high at night, the nervous system stays alert even if you feel physically tired. You may lie in bed, but your body does not fully shift into a resting state. Heart rate stays slightly elevated, thoughts continue, and deep sleep becomes harder to reach. Turmeric contains a natural compound that has been studied for its role in supporting a balanced stress response in the body. On its own, however, it is not absorbed very efficiently. That is why a small amount of black pepper is often added, because it helps the body absorb it more effectively. When mixed with warm milk or plant-based alternatives, this drink becomes a gentle evening ritual. It is not strong or stimulating, it is slow, calming, and grounding. Some observations suggest that when used regularly in the evening, this type of drink may support more stable sleep patterns and reduce nighttime restlessness linked with stress. The preparation is simple: a small amount of turmeric mixed into warm milk with just a pinch of black pepper. It should not be too strong or heavy. The idea is comfort, not intensity. It is usually taken about an hour before bed, giving the body time to settle. This drink is especially helpful for people who feel tired but mentally still switched on when going to bed. Now we move to the final drink, and this one is often overlooked, even though it plays a very important role in overnight recovery. Drink number 1 is a simple warm gelatin-based drink or a light bone broth-style drink. At first, it may seem too simple to be effective, but its value comes from what it contains naturally. One key amino acid found in gelatin is glycine. Glycine has been studied for its role in supporting deeper sleep quality. It is associated with helping the body lower core temperature slightly before sleep, which is one of the natural signals that tells the brain it is time to rest. It is also linked with a calmer nervous system state and more stable sleep cycles during the night. Unlike anything that forces sleep, glycine does not create artificial drowsiness. Instead, it supports the body's natural transition into deeper rest phases. Some observations suggest that people who include glycine-rich foods or drinks in the evening may wake up feeling more refreshed, with less heaviness in the morning. Another important point is recovery. During sleep, the body works on muscle repair, joint support, and connective tissue maintenance. Glycine and related compounds are involved in these processes, which is why this drink is often associated with a feeling of physical lightness the next day. Preparation is simple. Gelatin can be dissolved in warm water and taken as a light evening drink, or a mild bone broth can be used instead. The key is keeping it light, not heavy or overly rich. It is usually taken around 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Now, after going through all 5 drinks, the important part is not to use everything at once. The goal is to find what works best for your body. Some people respond better to calming herbal drinks. Others benefit more from nutrient-rich options that support overnight recovery. And beyond the drinks themselves, timing matters just as much. Small portions, taken earlier in the evening, are usually more effective than larger amounts right before bed. You don't need sleeping pills. You don't need complicated routines, and you don't need to force your sleep. Often, it is just one small adjustment in your evening habit that helps the body return to a more natural rhythm. A lighter evening drink, a calmer nervous system, a quieter night, and over time, better sleep that feels more stable and more restorative.